Void states can be used as a tool for making your unconscious conscious, increasing your focus to achieve your goals, and as an enhancement to actualizing your higher self. To be extremely clear, a void state is not meditation. Meditation is such an ill-defined concept that it's impossible to find an agreed-upon definition for it because it varies so widely from tradition to tradition. Some simply use it to relax, while others claim that it leads to enlightenment. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but sitting under a tree with your eyes shut isn't the way to enlightenment. Many Eastern religions, New Agers, and mystics teach that you should destroy your ego and all concept of the self in an attempt to dissolve into a cosmic oneness, and they teach meditation as a tool for reaching self-negation. Ultimately, this strips you of your power. Hyperianism is goal-oriented and purposefully directed towards increasing your personal power and our collective power. To put it simply, at best, meditation is an ill-defined concept with no clear goal, and at worst, it's taught as a method to destroy the self and decrease your power. The idea that you should destroy yourself is contrary to logic and reason. You exist in this collective dream to grow, learn, evolve, and understand. You're not here to try to negate and destroy the self. That doesn't make any sense. Why would there even be a physical world to begin with if that were the case? The physical world of the Holos exists as your training ground to evolve and actualize your divine self and transform the collective. It's not about destroying yourself, it's about actualizing yourself. And as each one of us actualizes, the collective actualizes. Whereas meditation is either undefined or self-negating, void states are well-defined and self-affirming. Whereas meditation is about dissolution, we are about evolution. Hyperians don't want to pull away, dissolve, or negate. We engage, evolve, and actualize. The New Age, Eastern, and mystical religions that teach self-destruction want to strip you of your power. Hyperianism is about maximizing your power and our collective power. You are not going to understand the secrets of existence or self-actualize by sitting there with your eyes shut all day. That idea is unevolved, contrary to reason, and something that we're completely against. The controllers of the old world would love nothing more than for you to waste your day away sitting there doing nothing with your eyes shut, instead of self-actualizing, becoming hyper-aware, and maximizing your inner power. When we enter a void state, our goal is not to destroy the ego. The ego is the center of your field of consciousness. It's extremely important. If you were to destroy your ego, you would drop down to an instinctual, animalistic level of awareness. Unlike many Eastern and New Age religions, we embrace the ego as an important tool. See our videos on inner star actualization for our description of the ego. In a void state, what you're doing is temporarily bypassing ego consciousness to access the unconscious. The important difference is that we don't have a long-term goal of self-destruction. We're temporarily bypassing the ego so as to later integrate the unconscious into consciousness with the goal of self-actualization. Void states are directed and goal-oriented for the maximization of power. Void states enable you to bring back unconscious content with you to integrate into your consciousness and allow you to increase your focus on the achievement of a personal goal and our collective goal. So, with all this in mind, how does one begin a void state? There are 3 steps to a void state: opening, entering, and closing. To open the void state, sit in a comfortable position, on the floor or in a chair, with your back straight and your hands on your knees. You want to be comfortable, but not so comfortable that you fall asleep. Now, shut your eyes or wear a blindfold. I prefer to wear a blindfold as it blocks out all light as well as psychologically primes you and reinforces what's about to take place. The goal is to clear your mind of all conscious thoughts. To do this, you're going to begin visualizations and concentrate on your breathing. So deeply inhale through your nose for 5 seconds. And as you do, imagine inhaling light into your body and gathering around your abdomen area. Wait a few moments, then slowly exhale through your mouth for another 5 seconds. As you exhale through your mouth, imagine blowing out black smoke. As you blow out the black smoke, this is you blowing out all the distractions, worries, stresses, anxieties, and mundane thoughts that might be going through your mind. Consciously acknowledge that you're blowing them all out in the black smoke. Repeat this process of inhaling light and blowing out black smoke 5 times. After you've done this 5 times, inhale while imagining light filling your abdomen area as usual, but this time, when you exhale through your mouth, instead of imagining black smoke, imagine that the light that's built up in your abdomen area travels throughout your entire body. Repeat this process of inhaling light and exhaling while visualizing it traveling throughout your body 5 times. When all is said and done, you'll have completed 10 sets of inhales and exhales. At this point, you have successfully opened the void state, and we move on to entering. To enter the void state, continue to breathe deeply and slowly. Maintain a blank mindset. You have relaxed the linear thinking of your conscious mind, and this allows the imagery and intuitions of the unconscious to come flowing through. Now that you have entered and are in the void state, what you do now is completely optional. Now, many simply remain in this state and observe the imagery or take note of any intuitions for later examination and integration. You can also engage in other exercises to enhance other aspects of Hyperianism. For example, you might take note of any content that would help you understand inner star actualization, or you might set an intention to lucid dream. There are many options here. Another powerful technique is to actively explore mental landscapes by allowing your unconscious to generate a scene, then explore and interact with that scene. For example, suppose the imagery of a forest appears. You could then actively begin to explore that forest, and perhaps you find a cabin. Maybe someone's inside of it, and you start to have a conversation with them. This is what psychiatrist Carl Jung called active imagination. Now, this isn't anything crazy. This is what psychiatrist Carl Jung called active imagination. And it can lead to insights about your unconscious mind and provide you with material for later integration. But if you're just beginning, you'll most likely just want to keep your conscious mind clear and take notice of any imagery or intuition that comes forward. How long you remain in this state is completely up to you. Whether it be 5 minutes or 30, it's your choice. When you're finished, it's time to move forward and close the void state. Now, the close is extremely important and relates to Hyperianism being about individual and collective power. To close the void state, spend a few minutes vividly imagining yourself achieving a goal. Make it as realistic and detailed as possible. Imagine yourself taking all the steps necessary to achieve your goal, and then imagine it coming to fruition. Once you've spent a few minutes doing this, then spend a few minutes imagining the interconnectivity of the earth. Imagine all Hyperians connecting together across the world and new Terra actualizing. This is our collective goal. Once you have completed these 2 important visualizations for increasing your personal power and our collective power, make the sign of New Terra, touch your forehead, and either whisper or say in your mind, Kairos, which is Greek for the perfect moment. You have now closed the void state. Now, this might seem like a lot of information, but it's actually very simple. To recap, to open the void state, do 10 sets of inhalations and exhalations. To enter the void state, let unconscious imagery flow into your mind and take note of it, or engage in actively exploring your mental landscape, or any other exercise that would be useful for your self-actualization. To close the void state, vividly imagine yourself achieving a goal of yours. followed by vividly imagining the achievement of our collective goal of the global actualization of New Terra. Very simple. Open, enter, close. Here's some useful tips. To keep track of your inhales and exhales, don't count in your mind, as this defeats the purpose of clearing your mind. Use your fingers. Listen to any audio or music that's not distracting and allows you to relax. Binaural beats can be helpful in putting you in a relaxed state. Never think to yourself the negative statement, "I must not think." Instead, rephrase it to the positive statement, "I will clear my mind." Your mind has a tendency to ignore negatives, so commanding yourself to not think may result in obsessive thinking. The positive command to clear your mind is much more effective. If you tell yourself, "I will not think of a pink elephant," of course you'll constantly think of a pink elephant. So don't tell yourself, "I will not think." Tell yourself, "I will clear my mind." Personally, when opening the void state, I also start by touching my forehead and saying intra velum, which loosely means behind the veil. This is another psychological reinforcer that puts you in the right state of mind for what's about to occur. Always close your void state by imagining the achievement of your goal and the actualization of New Terra. Every Hyperion does this because we are about individual and collective power. We all want you to succeed, and we want all of us to succeed. Finally, what if you're sitting there with your eyes shut and no imagery appears? Don't worry, void states take practice, so that's not uncommon at all. And hey, if imagery never appears for you, that's totally fine. Doesn't mean something's wrong with you. Everyone's different, and void states may simply not be for you. The other aspects of Hyperianism are more important, and void states exist as an extra tool for those that benefit from them. If you don't benefit from them, don't worry, just don't use them. Before we finish, I must emphasize again that void states must be approached carefully. This is because humans are lazy. Don't fall into the Ignavi trap. Many people want to think that sitting there with their eyes shut and doing nothing else will lead to their evolution. Not a chance. This is the trap that meditators fall into. They don't want to do any hard work, so they convince themselves that sitting there with their eyes shut all day is going to help them. Void states are an extra tool to help you and enhance other aspects of Hyperianism. Remember, all Hyperians commit to at least 1 hour a day to work on improving themselves. Void states do not count towards this hour. There's something extra. Imagining yourself achieving your goal isn't going to make it happen. You have to put in the blood, sweat, and tears and the sheer will to make it happen. And the same goes for the actualization of New Terra. The world won't shift by sitting around with our eyes shut. The earth will shift through our unshakable will and our eyes ablaze. It will shift by getting out there and spreading this information to the world. The void state visualizations are something extra to solidify your goals and our collective goal into the unconscious. It's a powerful tool to help you focus, but doing that and nothing else is utterly useless. Visualizing the house that you want to build can help in its creation, but it's not going to build itself. You have to take the steps to construct it. You must actually pick up the hammer and the nails and put in the work. So, that being said, now that you understand void states, it's up to you to use them properly. We never seek to eliminate the self, to regress to the level of the animal. We seek to augment the self through the integration of our unconscious content to become all-powerful. Behind the veil lies the secrets of the universe, and we are the holders of those secrets. Leave a comment below and tell me your thoughts. Like and subscribe, and if you support us, support on Patreon so we can continue to create. So many say they support, but they don't spend the few minutes to fill out the sign-up form. Don't be lazy, guys. If you support us, help us move forward even faster. I want to give a big shout out to all our true supporters on Patreon. You guys are amazing, and you're the reason why this is all possible. Let's create a new humanity and a new Earth. My name is Morgue, and I am Hyperion.